So it was about a decade ago that I was broke as a joke, ready to choke. I was working at Applebee's, washing dishes and selling on the side, and you know, getting in trouble by the manager, but he was cool. But you know, all jokes aside, I mean, it wasn't funny to me because every day I was so worried. I was disturbed. I was mentally not in a good place. I was depressed, anxious, you know, maybe you could say a little bit paranoid, I don't know. But I was fed up for sure. I was really fed up. I was in a dark place back then. And you know, I was so worried. And for the first time, I typed something in the search engine on YouTube that I never typed anything like this into the search engine, but I typed into the search engine, how to stop worrying. And I didn't even know there was a book on that topic, but the book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie came up into the search engine. And I was like, oh wow, let me check this out. So I played it. The more I listened to this book, the more it lifted me out of that despair that I was in, right? And then, you know, I started seeing other authors in the suggested column, and I started discovering books and stuff. So for the first time, I read Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. I got books by Dale Carnegie, Robert Kiyosaki. I started listening to Zig Ziglar and Les Brown and all these guys, right? Earl Nightingale. And I was thinking, man, wow, if I continue on this path, 10 years from now, I'm gonna be in a really good place. But it didn't actually happen that way. I mean, I've done some things that got me close, and you know, I got a little taste of financial freedom or financial abundance, whatever you would call it, but it didn't really get to the point that I wanted it to get. And I asked myself why. And there's actually a lot of reasons why. You know, even though I thought for sure, oh, 5 years I should be, oh, 10 years I'll definitely be there, but that's not the case. And it really boils down to one thing. It's discipline in the decisions that you make, you know, and staying consistent, right? So we don't stay as consistent as we need to be. And if you're in that place, like, I'm not at the level that I want to be, and the reason why is because there's so many decisions. There's hundreds of decisions that you can take every day. And out of those 100 decisions, I made too many wrong decisions. You know, decisions like whether to work out or scroll on social media, whether to not eat the sugary foods or go eat something healthy instead. I'm talking down to the minuscule decisions, the decisions that you wouldn't even notice that you're making a decision on. I'm talking very small decisions that add up over time to create where you want to be. So that's what this video is going to be about. So a lot of us, of course, would love to be multimillionaires, but we don't know why we're not self-made multimillionaires yet after we've been trying for what we think we've been trying for, you know, almost a decade or so, right? And you can trace that back to the tiny little beliefs that happen every single day. You know, you might have thought some belief, maybe you should have worked on that business idea, but instead you didn't. You did something else. There was a certain belief that led you to doing something else instead of working on that business idea or saving up money for something that you wanted to do. You know, a lot of the poor decisions I've made is because of a wrong belief that I had in my mind, a belief that led me to procrastinate instead of doing the hard thing. Because you see, we're like driven, as human beings, we're driven by two things, by pleasure and pain. That's what it boils down to every day. We want pleasure and we want to run away from pain. So anything that's going to cause pleasure, we're naturally going to seek that first. And we'll do whatever we can to avoid pain, right? So a lot of times, short-term pain is what it takes to get to the goal and the destination, but we procrastinate on that short-term pain because we're trying to avoid it. and put it off for later. And we just don't understand, if we just get through that barrier, on the other side of that pain, we're gonna end up feeling much better. And it actually strengthens you to the pain that you were procrastinating on. That's just a little example, but I mean, when you really zoom out, when you look at your goal, like your big goal, your 10-year goal, something that you aspired to do 10 years from now, like literally zoom out 365 days, 2-3 years, 4-5 years, and just look at how much time is in between that 10-year goal and all the little decisions that can get you there much quicker. If you were to just take the right decisions, avoid a lot of the pleasure-seeking activities, and just go straight for the short-term pain, right? And then it's all about your perspective too, because if you associate like not eating sugar or not exercising, it's pleasurable. Like exercising hurts, it's annoying, right? But when you exercise regularly, it becomes pleasurable. If you're quitting sugar, it's hard at first. You go through sugar withdrawals. But if you stop eating sugar for an extended period of time, it actually feels good. You feel your brain fog goes away. You have more physical energy. Your body feels better. Your joint pain subsides. And I'm using these two examples because this is what I know best. Like, I don't know how to be a millionaire because I've never become a self-made millionaire. I want to, but I'm just trying to correlate like some of the good disciplines with your health to making money. I'm trying to make the connection here because I'm just thinking to myself, and I'm like, if you could be disciplined with your diet and your exercise, then you could be disciplined in making money too. I think it's all the same. It's just what you're choosing. You know, it boils down to all the choices that we make during the course of a day that add up over the weeks, 52 weeks a year, and then the years that go by. Because when you sit here and you look back on your life and you say, man, 18 months just passed, or 2 years, or another year just passed, and I thought I was gonna, you know, be rich by now, and well, I'm not. And you got to really take a second to think about it. Why not? Because you had more opportunities and more chances, but you chose to do something different. Now, I want to take accountability and say, hey, you know what? I'm not there because I probably chose to do something different. So I'm thinking back to all the things that I possibly did and all the choices that I could have made. And there's a ton of them, bro. There's so many different choices I could have made and just took a little bit more pain. There's times that I look back on that I did take the right steps and made a more money and made the right decisions and grinded and it paid off. But then there's a lot of other stupid decisions I made, foolish decisions I made. So it could have been a lot worse. So I can't sit here and complain too much. But it could have been better. You know, that's what you got to recognize when you have gratitude. You got to have gratitude that you didn't mess up too bad, but you also got to have a perspective of saying, you know, I did mess up a little bit. I wasted a lot of time. You know, I did some things I shouldn't have done. I wasted money here. I wasted time doing this, that, and the third. You got to take these things into account. The important thing that I'm trying to get across right now is you gotta associate a certain amount of pain with not getting to your destination or your goal. You gotta really tap into what's gonna happen or what it's gonna feel like if you don't get what you really want. Now you gotta really want it. Like that's one thing right there. And it's not just the belief in yourself, if you can do it or not. That's like the first step. But the next thing is how worth it is it gonna be to you? Now, if you don't believe that it's going to be worth it enough, then you might not do enough to get it. And if you believe that it'll be worth it to just take it easy and not work hard toward your goals or not take that chance, then you're going to do that instead. So it's going to boil down to all the decisions that you make during the course of your life, during the course of these upcoming days that we have here. So, you know, you can choose on a day-to-day basis to get distracted and have fun and, you know, go out for drinks and party and stuff, which is cool. And there's, you know, a time and place for that if you want to do that. But you got to come back to what's important in life. And honestly, we all have a choice, man. That's it. We all have a choice. So what are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do? I'm just sitting here thinking, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Because I shouldn't be driving DoorDash right now. I shouldn't be sitting here waiting for an order to come in on a Friday. I shouldn't be doing deliveries for like $10. What are they? An average order pays you like $10 a piece. Really? I'm sitting here and I'm talking to myself. I'm like, really, Kev? You're settling for a $10 order on average? Driving around in traffic? This is what you want to do? Cut it out, man. You know, I got to talk to myself like a coach sometimes, and I got to hold myself accountable. I'm like, you know what? What are your options right now? I tell myself, what are my options? How do I escape this poverty or this position that I don't want to be in? Well, what do we have here? You don't have many options, but you have some. So let's look at them. Okay, let's see. What can we monetize here? Okay, I got a little YouTube channel. I make some videos. All right, so let's look at that. What can you do with that? What can you do with that little YouTube channel and grow it into something and grow an audience and you know, have enough money to get to a point where you don't have to do the DoorDash, and then you can put more time into creating something, maybe a product or some sort of book. There's a ton of things that you can create when you have the right amount of time to do it. But if you spend 7 days a week driving DoorDash, you're not going to have enough time to do it. So maybe if you get a YouTube channel monetized and get a little more money coming in, you have another stream of income. This is why I pull out the camera right now, because here I am working and I'm like, bro, this is a waste of time. I'm just doing this to pay my bills, and it's just covering my bills. I need to come up with something to do while I'm doing this that could potentially sprout into something. So this is why I say everybody should pull out the camera and just create content. You know, you have so many thoughts during the day, and some of them can be really valuable to other people. You know, other people that are maybe stuck or having a tough time. Maybe you have some words of advice you want to share to some of these people. Create a video and share it. Maybe you have a hobby, a specific hobby that you love to do. Create something and share what you're doing in your hobby. I mean, it can be anything. There's just so many things that you can do. The possibilities are out there if you open your eyes and just take a look. Just take a good look around you. Maybe I need to sit down and meditate for a minute to have some of these ideas come to you. I don't know. Like when I go for a walk, my mind starts to turn, and I start to think of some ideas. When I'm driving, even when I'm driving in traffic, or I'm just driving down the freeway, my mind will turn and I'll start to think of ideas. So why don't I utilize those ideas that I have while I'm driving? Just record a video. The video doesn't even have to have a rhyme or reason to it all the time. So really the point of this video is to share what I want to do, right? Is I want to be able to grow the YouTube channel. That's like the first little hurdle that I'm trying to get over right now. And in order to do that, I got to record videos and post them, and I haven't been consistent enough to do it. So I need to find the time to just do it while I'm working and stop making excuses. So I associate the pain of working another year on DoorDash 7 days a week to help me get to that goal faster. Now I think about it, okay, I'm gonna be driving DoorDash every day, all day long, and putting wear and tear on my car, and doing all this. No, I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. You know, it's an embarrassing thing. I don't even want to admit that on YouTube that I do a job so low. It's like low grade job. It's like working fast food. You know, like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like in my 40s right now. What are you doing deliveries, bro? You need to, you know, so this is how I motivate myself. And I'm gonna say it right here, you know, and there's not a lot of people that watch these videos, but you know what? I appreciate everybody who watches the videos, all 27 of you. So there's not many people watching the video, but my point is, I appreciate everybody who watches the video because you're spending your time here. And if you're spending your time here, you must be seeing something of value. And that's the whole point in me sharing any videos, because if you're not seeing any value with it, then you might as well not watch the video. Because if I'm not giving you anything that you can use, then it's pointless. So I want to ask this. I want you to ask yourself this. What have you been putting off that will get you to where you want to go? Or that's going to improve your life? There's something there that you might be putting off. And ask yourself why you're putting it off. What is the pain associated with putting it off? And list those things out. You know, if you're a content creator like me and you're not posting consistently, maybe there's a couple of things that might be deterring you from posting. Maybe you are afraid of what people think. That's painful. You don't want to be embarrassed on camera, or maybe you are trying to you have a perfectionist mindset and you're trying to have everything perfect. And if it's not perfect, you don't feel proud about it. But you know it doesn't need to be perfect. You see people's channels blowing up all the time and their videos aren't perfect. They just turn on the camera, they talk about whatever, they stutter, they pause. You know, nobody's perfect. Every YouTuber that I look at is far from perfect, including myself. So it could be anything. It could be getting in shape. It could be eating healthier. It could be creating a business. Whatever it is that you want to do, ask yourself why you're procrastinating. And then think about the detriment and the pain that's going to come from continuously procrastinating, so that you snap yourself out of the procrastination and you go for it and you procrastinate a lot less. That's the whole goal of this video today, is just to try to get people to procrastinate a lot less. And I hope that helps. Get to the next level every single day, and we'll catch you on the next one.